Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a generous king who was known throughout the land for his kindness and faith. Every morning the king would walk through his royal gardens and offer prayers, thanking the divine for all his blessings. One day, while strolling through the market, the king noticed a poor old man sitting by the roadside, looking weak and hungry. Without hesitation, the king approached him and offered food and gold coins. The old man looked up with tears in his eyes and said, "Whatever happens, happens for the good." The king smiled, blessed the man, and continued on his way. Days passed, and the king was preparing for a royal hunting expedition. On the morning of the hunt, while sharpening his sword, the blade slipped and cut off the tip of his little finger. The king cried out in pain, and his ministers rushed to help him. The royal physician bandaged the wound, but the king was troubled and disappointed that he could not go hunting. That evening, feeling restless, the king walked through his gardens and remembered the old man's words. Whatever happens, happens for the good. He tried to find peace in those words, though his heart was heavy. The very next day, news arrived at the palace that shook everyone. The hunting party had been ambushed by a tribe of cannibals from the deep forest. The entire group had been captured and taken to the tribe's village to be offered as sacrifices. But there was one rule the tribe followed strictly. They would only sacrifice those who were physically perfect, without any flaw or injury. When the tribal chief inspected the captured men, he examined each one carefully. He was about to approve them all when one of the tribesmen said, "We cannot take the king. He is missing the tip of his finger. He is not perfect." Hearing this, the chief ordered the king to be released. The king was set free and returned to his palace, stunned and overwhelmed. He finally understood the meaning of the old man's words. What seemed like a tragedy, losing the tip of his finger, had actually saved his life. That small wound had been a blessing in disguise. From that day forward, the king lived with even greater faith and gratitude. He shared his story with his people, reminding them that even in moments of pain and loss, there may be a hidden purpose we cannot yet see. He taught everyone that faith, patience, and trust in a higher plan can turn our darkest hours into our greatest salvation. And so, the kingdom flourished not just in wealth, but in wisdom and hope, inspiring generations to come.